The yield on China's 10-year treasury bonds have settled between 3.4% and 3.7% as of the end of September, down from the range of 3.5 to 3.6% for the same period last year. One expert attributes this year's bond downturn to rising inflation, but does not think pressures are intense enough to shake the overall performance of China's bond market.
Both the CPI and the PPI face increases in the second half this year, and that could lead to concern about increased interest rates. According to past experience, there are usually frequent fluctuations in bond markets in the fourth quarter, mainly due to extensive policy changes. I think there may be some ups and downs this year too, but the government's prudent monetary policy won't allow interest rates to jump much.
Yang adds that the weekend announcement of the fourth cut in banks' reserve requirement ratios this year may not necessarily invite huge cash flows into bond markets. A major impact is expected by some, however, due to an announcement by the central bank and the finance ministry at the end of September that China will now welcome more overseas issuers of RMB-denominated bonds. Previously, only the International Development Agency could issue RMB bonds in China. Last month's announcement has widened the scope of entry to more overseas institutions, however. Now overseas governments, banks, and non-financial companies are all allowed to issue bonds here. Their relatively higher credit ratings should be a boost to the market, experts say.
There have been some risks coming to light in the bond markets this year, partly because of inappropriate credit ratings and issuance procedures. Overseas bond issuers, however, have relatively higher credit ratings. The risks are better controlled. Therefore, domestic issuers should learn from the credit ratings from their overseas counterparts.
As of the end of this August, the International Development Agency had issued over 170 billion RMB worth of bonds in interbank bond markets, and Zhao believes that the number is still on the rise. Bloomberg announced this March that China's treasury bonds and policy bank bonds would be included in the Barclays Aggregate Bond Index from next year. Yuan, ICS for CGTN, Shanghai.